People accuse me of cherry picking news. What I try and do is not, I don't make it. I don't come out with it. I react to it. So I'm not cherry picking, I'm reacting, okay? That's the difference. If you make a statement about something to all your followers, and in some cases, a lot of followers, and you miss out a few things, I'm here to just point out what you've missed, okay? So don't accuse me of cherry picking. I do not follow this chap. Colin Walker, this was 27th of June. No one wants an EV, but everyone wants an EV charger. Volex profits rise by a quarter as demand for its EV chargers soars. Okay, whenever you look at Colin's tweets, he's always retweeting Dr. Andy Pandy. Now, the first thing that springs to mind, just a couple of weeks ago, French forced to rescue British charging company as drivers shun EVs. Let me see, what does that say? No one wants an EV, but everyone wants an EV charger. French forced to rescue British charging company as drivers shun EVs. Michael Bow, 2 weeks ago. A UK charging company is to be rescued by French energy giant EDF after a downturn in demand for electric vehicles left it struggling to survive. On Thursday, EDF said it would buy Pod Point in a cut price deal to save the British company. The energy giant said a takeover was the only realistic prospect of allowing Pod Point to keep operating. So without this takeover, it would have gone skint. Pod Point, which has chargers available at places such as Tesco and McDonald's, is the third largest charging group in the UK, operating 5,600 fueling stations, according to ZapMap. Government data this week showed there were around 80,552 charge points across the country, up from 62,418 last year. 18,000 in a year. I don't know about you, but it doesn't sound like a lot to me. The company was founded in 2009 and grew rapidly before listing on the London stock market with a price tag of 350 million in 2021. However, Pod Point has since disappointed with lacklustre performance. Shares have crashed 94% from its debut. 94%. The deal underscores the disappearing demand for EVs among British drivers, amid fears about depreciation and reliability. While sales of EVs have grown in recent years, demand for the cars has undershot the lofty expectations of companies such as Pod Point. Rishi Sunak, the former Prime Minister, decided in 2023 to push back a ban on petrol and diesel cars from 2030 to 2035, which was seen as denting demand for EVs, while falling petrol prices and rising electricity prices have also damaged the appeal of battery-powered cars. A recent poll by the AA found a fifth of drivers said they would never buy an electric vehicle because they preferred to drive petrol and diesel cars. The breakdown service said more incentives were needed to boost demand. So what the AA is saying there is people don't want them unless they're cheap. People won't buy them unless they're cheap. People won't buy them because they prefer ICE vehicles. That's what they're saying, isn't it? When you translate it, that's what they're saying. They will only buy electric cars on price, which is why the British motor trade is in so much trouble at the moment. Because they're having to restrict supply of ICE cars that people want in order to try and force them into electric vehicles, which they don't want unless they're cheap. Now, can you see the flaw in that plan? The funny thing is, as we get further down, announcing the takeover, it blamed slower than expected adoption of EVs, increased competition, and the rise of alternative distribution channels for its poor performance. Now, our old garage, Grosvenor Garage, the Co-op bought it. The Co-op had plans to put an electric charger in the corner, right where my old office used to be, right in the corner. They started building the Co-op, they put an electric vehicle charger in. Before they'd finished building, another EV charger was being put in. And John asked him, what they were doing. And they were replacing the EV charger that was already in because that company had gone out of business. So John said, well, surely you can use the same equipment. No, different equipment. We've just got to take it all out and bin it. So before they could build a co-op, and it was nothing special, the EV charging company had gone out of business. EDF, which is owned by the French government, said taking the company off the stock market would allow it to fund the growth of the business more easily. The French giant already owned 53% of the company and has offered 6.5p per share to buy the rest of the company it does not already own. Top shareholder, Legal & General, and the group's directors have backed the takeover, which values the group at 10.6 million. Well, from memory, it didn't value the group at 10.6 million. It gave a 24% premium. So it valued it, what's that, 7.8 million? Wow, that's, 7.8 million. It's a lot of money, isn't it? Except it was valued at 352 million. It's pilled 345 million pounds. How? So it values the group at, hang on, Andy Palmer. I wonder, is that the same Dr. Andy Palmer? The Pod Point chair. Why haven't they called him Dr. Andy Palmer? Dr. Andy, give him his proper name, Dr. Andy Pandy, the Pod Point chairman, said, as a good strategic fit within the EDF group, we believe it puts Pod Point on the road to a long-term, sustainable future to the wider benefit of all its stakeholders. It's lost £345 million. Philippe Commaret, EDF's managing director, said, our offer for Pod Point will allow it to benefit from long-term stability and enhanced operational support, providing greater certainty for its customers. Under the government's zero emissions vehicles mandate, at least 28% of new cars sold in the UK this year must be electric. The target rises each year until 2030, when 80% of new cars must be electric and 70% of vans. Got no chance. The sale of pure new petrol and diesel cars will also be banned in 2030 after Labour reversed Mr Sunak's policy. Labour have also reversed a plan for, was it £950 million to be spent on EV charging infrastructure. That's across the UK, service stations and so on, to put a lesser amount into chargers, street chargers. To me, that means, to me, range anxiety is one of the biggest objections to buying an EV. So range anxiety doesn't mean driving around your hometown, does it? It means travelling the distance. And what do you do when you travel a distance in a petrol car? You pull up at a motorway service station and fill up. That's what you need to do in an EV. That's what you need to be able to do. But this idiot Labour government obviously thinks that you're going to pull off the motorway, go into the nearest town and then search for a street charger. So Andy Palmer's involved there. But you see, the thing is, I don't recall Colin doing a tweet, nobody wants EVs, and therefore Pod Point have lost 345 million. I don't remember that tweet. And I don't remember Dr. Andy Pandy, godfather of EVs. I don't remember him saying, guess what? we've only gone and lost 345 million in share value. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Ta-da.